Hello, Carlos. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Se me Hey, cortó porque llegué a la casa. Yes. I'm great. You?
Ah, we
Rushing.
rushing. What is correct to say? In a hurry, rushing.
Yeah, both are correct.
Okay.
Both mean the same thing, actually.
Okay.
Um, you can even say running.
Running.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the first word that you say?
I said rushing.
Rushing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, I can see. But well. Uh, hola. Hello.
Me voy a dormir.
Okay. Time for bed.
Time for bed.
Mm-hmm. Um, but yeah, I mean, Sergio was telling me about some exciting news, right? In
Yes.
regards to the new place. So, did you have a chance to see the house he was
Yes.
talking about? Yeah,
Oh, just with lamps, with
with
our,
lamps.
how can I say linterna?
Yeah, lamps. Mm-hmm.
With, because
Ah, no, oh,
spotlight.
like a flashlight, you mean?
Ajá.
Okay.
Yeah, because the house no
Mm-hmm.
tienen zapatos ninguno. Because the house doesn't have energy,
Okay, it doesn't have an
power.
power. Yes, it doesn't have power.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Eh, but it, it's okay. It's big. Big
Mm-hmm.
for standards for here. It's
Yeah, okay,
big.
so it's definitely bigger than this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The location it's very convenient because we are in the corner of the of one of the big bus stops.
Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you got your bus stop close. How far is it to work? Is it further than the previous places?
About the same.
About the
This
same.
is
Okay.
about 2.3, 2.4 kilometers.
Mm-hmm. Well, not
It's
bad
not too
actually.
bad. Mm-hmm.
No. Mm-hmm.
I don't like that it's in the third floor.
Ah, okay. So it's an apartment building. How
Uh-huh.
tall is it? Like how many floors?
I think four.
Okay, four.
It's not too
All
big.
right. So three out of four. And do you know if all the other apartments are taken now?
I don't know.
Okay. Um, and how come there's no power? Is that just like a temporary thing?
Oh, because the tenant changed.
The
So
tenant
every
changed.
tenant have to have our
Ha,
own contract.
Just
has
think we
has.
should text her and tell her that we are willing to pay in order not to lose that.
We are.
I was talking with him,
Uh-huh.
so I told him about the negotiation, and he thinks that if the place is as good as I describe it, we should tell her that to show our commitment to the place,
Okay.
to send the text. Am I wrong?
He's not wrong. Uh, but what do you think?
Well, well,
Is
well,
it too
well.
fast? Too soon?
I think maybe it's too soon, but okay, maybe that message helped her
Yeah,
to
yeah,
decide to say yes. Mi celular está por allá.
yeah.
Ah, no, acá.
hmm yes, because she needed to. Well, Sergio was telling me that he tried to negotiate. She was going to think about it. Um, but Sergio's been thinking about the place. Uh, he thinks that it's the best place yet. Um, do you agree with that?
Mm,
Or the best place for the money?
it's hard to say because this
Mm-hmm.
very morning we saw another apartment
Mm-hmm.
in the second floor, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That was la chamarra no cabe.
Solamente la chamarra y la camisa.
Entonces, espérate. Ay, ya deja de hablarme porque se me olvida.
No me voy a desvelar, lo siento.
Ay, sorry, Carla.
Okay.
What are we talking?
Yes. You were talking about a different apartment that's on a second floor. Mm-hmm.
That is 2,300.
Mm-hmm. 2,300. Okay.
Okay. The patio or the terrace is not
Uh-huh.
big.
Mm-hmm.
It's too small. That have two bedrooms, small, two
Okay.
bedrooms, and the living room is a small place,
Mm-hmm.
but it's 2,300. It's cheap
It's
for
cheap.
here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also you have to pay like maybe 200 more for utilities.
For utilities.
Utilities.
Mm-hmm.
And this place, and okay, and doesn't have storage. The closets are not bad,
Okay.
but the bedrooms are so small.
Mm-hmm.
The near bus stop there, you can find only two buses
Only two buses. Okay.
close to there.
Uh-huh.
And this one that we saw
Mm-hmm.
some minutes ago
Okay.
is good because it's 2,600
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
plus
2,600.
maybe 200 more, but have three bedrooms,
Mm-hmm.
two bathrooms. The terrace or terrace is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's big,
Okay.
and
Nice.
the living room is better.
Mm-hmm.
The kitchen have a very good size.
Mm-hmm.
We have storage. We have a good closet.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a good option.
It's a dream.
And the bus stop is close to there. The supermarket.
It's a dream. No, I need to send her a message. I'm gonna tell her that I will give you more.
Ajá.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what
Yeah,
else?
I mean, it sounds great, but what do you think are the downsides to this place?
Downside?
The downsides are like the disadvantages or the things that you don't love.
We can have pets.
Oh, well, that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Can't.
hmm So no cats for for the near future.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
A little bit more expensive.
Sure.
Just that.
Okay. So no cats, and it's like, what is it, like 300, $400 more expensive?
Mm-hmm.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, like three.
Like three.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
hmm Okay.
I don't
Um,
know if it's a good choice. Okay, if we could put in a, how can I say, in a
in a
balanza,
balance, yes.
in a
If we put it in a
balance,
balance.
you have here 23 for two small beds,
hmm
but you can have pets, but here 300 more, but bigger with the
hmm
storage, but you can have a pet. Mm,
hmm Okay. Sure. Um, And well, uh, yeah. And for both places, are you at the same point, um, in terms of the negotiation, or has talks advanced more in one place than the other?
No, we can negotiate in the other one, in the 23. We
Hmm.
can negotiate.
Hmm. Um, okay. But in terms of both places, you've only seen the place and that's it. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, being that it is very, yeah, it's very quickly because you've just come back from seeing this, I mean, this particular place. So, so are you going to talk about this maybe before bedtime? Because you're going in tomorrow, right? You're going into work.
Hmm.
So you're not going to have a mind to think about
Hmm.
apartment choices. So probably going to talk about it. Um,
And we can move there at the end of this month.
mhm,
So in 10 days, maybe.
in 10 days. I mean, that would be nice. Um,
Hmm.
that would be nice. I mean, it's going to be hard work, right? Moving things.
Hmm.
Um, 10 days, right? Yeah. And you're going to have to be moving during the weekend, right?
Hmm.
Because you're going to have to be free, right? Sunday, Monday, Sunday, Monday. Well, yeah. I mean, you still have a few, I mean, you have some days to finalize that. Um, okay. So at this point, are you more excited or are you more stressed about the new options?
I'm more stressed because uh, I feel oxidated.
Okay. Oh, from the weekend? That's fine. That's fine. Warm up,
I'm
warm up.
I'm more stressful because this weekend Sergio and I we talking
We talked.
we
Oh, we
talk
talked. Hmm.
about to start to not work on Saturdays.
Okay. So with Sergio, you talked about you not
Uh-huh.
working on Saturdays anymore.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Because, well, because it's very hard, right? But
Mm-hmm.
is there another reason?
Because it's hard for Anita last days.
Hmm.
She's looking for me. She
Okay.
demand me more,
Okay. All right.
and I don't have enough time with them because
Hmm.
I only see them on Sundays because Mondays they have school.
Okay. So Anita in particular.
Hmm.
Okay. Mm, when you say that she's more demanding, um, it means that she wants to spend more time with you.
Hmm.
Is it only when you are free, or is she also talking about you, asking for you when you're not at home?
No, when I am here.
When I'm here. Well, she probably thinks about it when you're not here as well.
Hmm.
Um, okay. Yeah, I guess it's been, I mean, how many months now have you been at the job?
Mayo, February, March, almost 10.
Yeah. Yeah, getting close to a year. Getting close to a year. So, yeah. So, I mean, the thing is that she's growing, like she's growing up. Hmm. So her her world is changing
Hmm.
uh, very quickly, even quicker than Leo's world. Hmm. So it's hard to say what things she's been thinking about recently that she's been more becoming more attached to you. Hmm.
Mhm.
And
No cerraste la puerta,
she's,
hijo.
she's making the most out of the time that you are here, right?
Okay.
Because of course you're quite busy. Um,
Mhm.
you're quite busy. Okay. So you talked about this with Sergio, and he agrees with that.
He's
Mhm.
agree, you say?
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
agreed.
He told me months ago, yeah, you have to start the work. You have to
Yeah.
not work Saturdays.
He will also be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, because even last week we were talking about how he's with the kids alone on Saturdays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that seems like a very healthy choice, right? So it's very easy to understand how you feel and why you're doing it. Maybe it's a bit more difficult for your boss to understand. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, now you're planning on speaking to him when?
Tomorrow, but not we decide to don't do that
To
because
not do that, yeah.
this, how can I say, the person who is going to rent us, landlord, because
Yeah.
the new landlord
Hmm.
have to call her to
Okay.
my boss
Yeah.
tomorrow for
Sure.
references.
Okay. So
So
you
Sergio
want
saying
you want your boss to be having a good day,
yes.
to see you working very hard and say, "Oh, Anna, she's the best of our employee."
Yes.
Okay, I understand. So definitely not tomorrow. Um, now, mm, do you again? Last week I asked you some questions about the people who were working there and the days they were working. Um, you even mentioned that there's maybe one or two people that did not work on Saturdays. Um, what do you expect to be their reaction to this news?
I'm nervous about that
Hmm.
because I think she's going to be upset.
Okay, sure.
Because Saturdays it's the most busy day,
Oh,
and
okay.
that day I am the only person who work in Delhi,
Okay, who works in the
who
deli?
works
Yeah.
in Delhi.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be
Mm.
tough. Um, all right. And you're the only one because you're the only one trained, or
Yes.
okay, okay. So yeah, yeah, definitely a tough choice. Um,
Mhm.
well, knowing that you're not speaking to your boss tomorrow, which probably means that you might still work this Saturday.
Uh,
Um, in your mind, what do you think would be ideal? Uh, would you stop by next week? Are you going to do the full month before you stop? Um, how do you think, how does it work in your mind, in your mental movie? How do you
I'm
think things go?
I'm overthinking since Saturday night that
Oh,
when we talk
mm-hmm. Talked, yeah.
talked. Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, you've probably made up. Made up is
Mhm.
invent, create. You've probably made up multiple scenarios. Okay. Well, mm, I think that I think that we have an opportunity here to go over some of your ideas, um, not just for conversation, but to actually maybe brainstorm a couple of scenarios, write them down, and maybe even write a very short script, something that will give you like a mental path, camino, that you can navigate in real person because it's a hard conversation to have, and it's even harder if you're doing it in a foreign language, right?
Mhm.
Because you don't have all of your resources, uh, or you don't have the resources that you would have
Mhm.
in Spanish, right? So, all right, let's see what we can do here. Um, so let's continue talking about this, but let's do it a bit more organized. Okay. So the whole point of this is Anna wants to request um to be off on Saturdays. Okay. So we can start with that. It's a very simple idea. It's a very simple idea. Anna wants to request to be off on Saturdays. Now, at work at the butcher's. Mm, all right, nice. Now, first things first, if you actually directly go to your boss and say um, something like, uh, could I speak to you in private? hmm It's a personal matter, no?
Mhm.
Um, once you say that something like, I would like to request being off on Saturdays. Imagine that that's the first, that's how you present the news. What do you think is the first thing your boss will say or ask?
Why?
Exactly, yes. In my mind, I think that's that's what they would say. Now,
¿Puedes pausar tu clase tantito? Quiero que tú y Carlos lean esto y me digan si les parece bien el mensaje. ¿Ahí me escuchas?
así.
A ver, quítale para que te oiga bien. Okay.
Dice, María, muchas gracias por mostrarnos tu departamento.
Ujú,
Queremos confesarte que estamos muy entusiasmados por mudarnos. Los niños están encantados y a todos nos hace mucha ilusión. Nos
ujú.
sentimos arropados por el lugar, como nuestro hogar. Es por ello que queremos decirte que haremos el esfuerzo por pagarte lo que estás pidiendo. Solo te suplicamos, ya no consideres más aplicaciones. Y le pongo unas manitas de esas rezando. Estamos convencidos de que nuestras referencias te convencerán, así que esperamos no quede un ápice de inquietud en ti y nos aceptes como tus inquilinos. Te reiteramos nuestro agradecimiento por considerarnos para habitar tu lugar y permitirnos convertirlo en nuestro hogar.
Ujú.
¿Qué tal? ¿Convincente?
Convincente. Apela
¿Alguna
mucho al
sugerencia?
lado sentimental.
Sí, claro. ¿Alguna sugerencia?
Am, supongo.
A ver, te lo
S- s-
mando
s-
por
no,
WhatsApp.
no, no. O sea, sí, mándamelo, pero mi sugerencia rápida es nada más em, algo que aprendí ahí en IH era am, cierra siempre con la cita. Es decir, que no quede abierto así de como, gracias, ¿no? O sea, como cuando hablamos.
Eh,
Mm.
ok, permitirnos convertir nuestro hogar. Estamos
Ujú,
atentos a tu confirmación para,
Para hacer.
estamos atentos a tu confirmación en cuanto tengas, en cuanto hayas, ok, solo
ujú.
quedamos atentos a tu confirmación.
Sí. O sea, mi sugerencia sería
Ah,
que algo como, bueno, obviamente con la misma voz con la que mandas el mensaje, pero, o sea, ¿cuándo podemos hablar? Porque ahí la ventaja que tiene o la fortaleza que tiene Sergio es que si lo pones una llamada con la señora, seguro que la convence, ¿no? Ese sería
Estamos muy
my
atentos.
2 cents.
Ok, entonces estamos muy atentos a tu confirmación y de cualquier modo nos vemos el domingo, ¿no? Porque el domingo nos lo va a enseñar de día porque estaba oscuro.
Ah, ok,
Y de
ok.
cualquier
Sí.
modo, ¿no?
O confírmanos la hora, nos confirma a la hora que te
ándale.
quede
Sí,
bien.
sí, sí, sí. Muy bien, Ana, muy
Es que
bien.
después de la 1, porque yo me paro como a las
Estamos muy
11.
atentos a que nos confirmes qué hora nos vemos el domingo.
Después de la
Sí, sí,
1.
sí. Sí, está bien, sí.
Gracias, Carlos.
Sí, con gusto.
Ahora sí ya no estoy chingando. Porque después sí estoy taruga y luego tú.
I am stupid.
No, don't repeat that, Ana.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Um,
She's going to
yeah.
ask why.
Yes, 100%. She's gonna ask why. Now, what do you respond to that? So you don't have to imagine that you're there with her. Just tell me why it's important. And I'll make notes, and we're going to transform this into uh, uh, like a task-based English class
Okay.
to work on a negotiation.
Okay. I'm going to say because I need to spend more time with my kids. They are still
Mhm.
mm, they are littles. It's okay. I don't know.
Mhm. They're still young, they're still small. Mhm.
And they demand me. They don't. They didn't or don't.
Uh, they don't. Well, yeah, they don't.
They don't see me during the day because, as you know, I know because I started to take classes every day at
Mm-hmm.
night, and now my time with them are reduced.
You be specific. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of at night at 7, so she gets the idea that you see the kids from 5:15 to 6:45. Like I'm only with them like 90 minutes.
¿Quieres tú venir a decirle mi script?
No, pues esto es algo que nos compete a los dos. Él nada más está entrenando cómo decirlo.
Okay, you started to take classes every day.
And ay, ya se me olvidó. The time that I have with them ay, ya se me...
Mm-hmm.
It's
Time
short.
Yeah, it's very short.
It's very short. About from 5:30 to 6:30, 6:45. Because I start my classes, and also my classes are important
Great,
because I
yes.
have to be prepared for do a test, and that test is require me
That test requires me
for apply in the future to a PR.
to apply to a future PR. Yeah,
Mhm.
very good.
And
Yes.
for now, I only see my kids Sundays
Mm-hmm.
and mornings just in the evening, because in the morning they go to the school.
Yes, exactly. Sundays, Sundays, and on weekdays, just in the evenings. Yeah. hmm Um, Very good. I think that I think this first block of text is going to help us is going to help us write a short text. I think at this point we should imagine this as an email. Let's picture that this is an email that you're going to send. Because when we think about it in that way, then we feel less pressure to use the perfect words immediately. An email is something that you can first draft, como el borrador, and then start working on going over it again, changing some words, adding more ideas. What I like about this is that let me see if I can color it. Let's see if it makes sense colored. So this is one idea. You're presenting one reason, but you're justifying that reason. So you're saying why and then why to the why. Why? Because I need to spend more times with my kids. That in itself is is a reason that parents can understand. But you're saying after that, you're saying why this is important for me in my context. So they're still young or still very small. They're still very young. Let's use the word young. They're still very young. And they are, mhm, um, and they demand for me to be there more. hmm Es más, aquí yo pondría algo como they're demanding for me to be there more. They're demanding me to be there more. hmm Mm, all right. They're still very young and they're demanding me to be there more. Um, okay, good. So that's one reason. Here, I'm going to use blue for another reason. And this second reason, you're also justifying that. I need to spend more time with my kids. Why? Because they're still very young. I started to take classes every day. Why? And you talked about your future PR. Okay, so I'm going to divide the text. I started to take classes every day. So also, I started to take classes every day. Now, these are important because I have to do a test that requires me to apply to a future PR. Okay, great. So there you have reason one, reason two. And then for that third point, you would then explain they don't see me. Uh, okay. Okay. Now we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back to this so we can continue working on the ideas, the clarity of the ideas, the English. And we have some time, so we don't have to finish today, but I think today we should do most of the work. Now,
Okay.
you presented two very well, you presented two reasons. And I mean, the main idea is that you don't see your children.
Yes.
We can continue working on these arguments in just a bit. Now, your boss is going to do the same. So, can you think about maybe two reasons why she needs you on Saturdays?
hmm
hmm
She's going to tell me, okay, Anna, at the beginning, I asked you
hmm
if you are going to stay here in Canada and I spend time to train you, and there are no another person who can stay there in the Delhi on Saturdays. So maybe she's going to say, I need you a few more Saturdays here. It's okay to say will I find another person
yes.
while I find another person, or maybe just come in the morning.
Okay. So, yes. So, I think the first point you mentioned is an important argument that we need to work on. We need to work on a counter argument for that.
Hmm.
Because, yes, it makes sense that if you previously had a conversation in which you were asked to, she asked you about your long-term availability. Like,
Mhm.
if I train you, or rather
Exactly.
saying, yes, like the training is so that you can, ¿cómo decirlo? We want the training to pay off. We want the training to be useful for us.
Mhm.
So for that first point, uh, for the first point of training Anna, uh, and long-term commitment, because you said yes, yes, yes. We're going to do everything in our power to stay here, to live here. I'm not looking for other jobs, etc., etc.
Mhm.
So, what do you think you can respond, like a counter argument
Nothing.
to address, para atender o resolver these 2 points, training you and your long-term commitment?
I don't know, Carlos. That's why I'm nervous.
Yeah, no, and I understand that. Well, one thing is that I think that you can emphasize that. I think you can remind her that you're taking English classes to take a test to stay in Canada permanently. Mhm. So that you can argue coherently. Mhm. That she said, but you told me that this was a long-term relationship. And you said, yes, it is a long-term relationship. I am committed to obtaining a PR. That's why I'm taking my English lessons. Mhm.
Mhm.
So I think that that is one thing that you can emphasize, that you can highlight, saying, I'm not contradicting myself. Mhm.
Mhm.
I am more committed in my time and in my work to being a long-term worker. Mhm. That's one thing. Now, do you think do you think it would be do you think you would cause a good impression? Do you think you would she would perceive positively if you actually proactively offer to train someone?
Mm, I don't know.
Because if you're leaving, she still needs someone to work the deli. That does not
Mhm.
change. She's not going to close the deli on Saturdays. Mhm.
Yeah.
So she needs someone to do that. Now, my only question is, mm, do you think if you should propose or offer to train someone, or do you think it's better for you to wait for her to ask you to train someone? Or do you think that she will not ask you to train someone? But who trained you?
Another person who stay in Delhi do from Wednesday to Friday.
Okay. Okay, I see. Or do you think she's going to ask this other person who's Wednesday to
Mhm.
Friday to train the new
Yeah,
people? Yeah?
it's possible, yeah.
Okay.
But also I can offer her to work uh, Mondays morning, or also to stay more time Fridays after we close the store, just for get ready some things for Saturday morning,
hmm
or maybe work only mornings in the Saturdays. Okay,
Okay.
so he says no.
Como lo que no quieren mis hijos es que les vayas y yo tampoco, ¿no?
Mhm.
Sábado no es negociable.
Well, I like the idea of Monday morning in the sense that I think if you mention, or I think if part of a negotiation includes Monday morning, I think it makes
Yeah,
sense. It's
and
coherent. hmm
I'm sorry,
Go
it's
ahead.
a good, maybe it's a good deal for her, because usually on Mondays Ginny works on Mondays, but Ginny is almost get a bird. His
Is
baby,
almost
her baby, get a bird.
oh,
No,
almost gives birth. Uh-huh.
gives birth. Mhm.
Uh-huh. Jin, so her name's Ginny, right?
Uh-huh.
Almost gives birth. So almost has her baby, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So do you think that that offer might be more attractive if you remind your boss that she's going to lose one element on Mondays?
It's no, no. I don't know, because you remember that some time ago I told you about the food truck.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, she already have the food truck there in the parking lot.
Yes.
But last week on Tuesday,
hmm
I meet a new person in the
Right. This new
kitchen,
worker. Uh-huh.
and he told me, "I'm going to work in the food truck."
Yeah.
And I asked him when, and he said maybe at the end of this month.
hmm
And For be honest, at the beginning, I feel me bad because he say, "Oh, she's training another person for to be in the food truck, and why I'm not there?
Right. Yeah.
If I worked hard here, I learn about everything. Yes, I know my English sucks, but I can be there."
Sure. Yeah.
And I was a little bit upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought,
I thought.
thought,
Thought.
think in the past,
Yeah. Thought.
in the past, I thought that I like him,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me, I already asked, uh, who is going to help me in the food truck
Mm-hmm.
when it's too busy there? And they told me, oh, maybe Anna.
Maybe Anna. Mm-hmm.
And I feel with stress now because if I say to
Okay.
Val, to my boss, I can't work anymore on Saturdays, maybe she think, oh no, so Anna, now it's not an option for working the food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And
The,
I still overthinking.
okay. I mean, overthinking can be useful, I guess, just in the sense that, for example, right now, working the food truck. I'm just going to leave a note. The thing is, if it's very hard for you to stop overthinking, I think I think what you can do and should do is just make little notes about everything you think. Because the more that you can present ideas to your boss that she will eventually think or make connections, if you mention it first, you are in control of the conversation. You're in control of the conversation. So, for example, if one argument or if one possible reaction is or ideas now, Anna shouldn't work in the food truck. I need to think of somebody else. The question is, how can we mention this before she makes the connection and thinks this idea? Because we should. I'll give you a different example. If you know that she's going to respond with this argument, then one thing that we will do, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow or some other day this week, if she's going to remind you, Anna, we talked about this, then you should definitely mention this first. So this idea should be here before in this initial argument. So if you're overthinking, then let's use that as an advantage. Let's try to think of all the possible scenarios, present her ideas before she thinks those ideas. Okay? So you're more in control of the conversation. Now, going back, possibly she will think, now Anna shouldn't work in the food truck. I need to think of someone else to do that. How do you think we can mention this idea to her before she mentions it, but maybe try to give it a more positive context? Mm, for example, and I don't know if this is the right answer, but just to give you one idea and we can discuss. How do you think she'll react if you say something um, like reminding her why you're a very valuable element? Um, like I can work the deli. Um, is the deli open only Tuesday to Saturday?
It's open for customers only Wednesday to Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and we work there on Tuesdays to get ready the
Yeah.
ham and something else.
Okay. Right. Hmm. Yeah. So that's a difficult one. And how about the food truck? It is it not? Is it still not operational? Is it
No,
still not
no
working?
yet. No yet.
And you can and we can suppose that the food truck is going to be open Wednesday to Saturday as well, right?
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, because one argument that you can use is to make up for Saturday, I can help in the food truck, no sé, on Tuesdays or even Mondays. So maybe this is not the best argument, but this is just an example of how you can you can what's the word do you think? Como adelantarse. You can be one step ahead of your boss and you can transform one negative thing to one positive thing because you're not in her plans for the food truck, at least in short term. But you can offer to work in the food truck on a day they're not planning to open the food truck. Tuesday seems interesting because the shop is not open to clients, but the food truck could be open to clients. Why not? People eat on Tuesdays too. Mhm. So, this would be a very interesting idea where she thinks that you're trying to be helpful. You feel bad and you're trying to make up. But at the same time, you're actually finding an opportunity to be in the food truck when she's not considering you right now to be in the food truck. So, this is something that, depending on how the conversation flows, you can actually mention. I'm not working on Saturdays, but I want to help you. Mhm. If you're not planning to open the food truck on Tuesdays, I can be there on Tuesdays working the food truck. Or if you are planning on opening on Tuesdays, I can work the food truck on Mondays. Mhm. Because, of course, this new person is going to have similar days off, like Sunday and Monday. So she has the opportunity to have a working food truck from Monday to Saturday. Mhm.
Mhm.
She is going to have her deli working from Wednesday to Saturday when she trains a new person. Uh-huh. You can offer to train the new person. Maybe she says no, that's fine. But you were proactive to offer. And you can offer to help in the food truck on a day she's not planning to open it, probably. And I think this is very possible because if people are busy at the store on Tuesdays, or if everybody is has Mondays off, then of course the food truck will be closed on Mondays. Um,
And also, I don't have or she don't have a position for me or
Mhm.
a spot for me, I'm always here,
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
So that it's ay, se me fue hasta en español. Incierto
Mhm.
for me,
Uncertain. Mhm.
uncertain for me, because one day she say, "Oh no, please, server to the customers. Oh no,
Mhm.
today you going to the deli. Today you going to the kitchen. Today half day in the kitchen. Oh no, now I need you in the front. So I have to go there. Okay, now it's not too busy. Go back to the kitchen." And I'm like that always. Just like 3 or 4 weeks, I stayed on the deli for those 3 or 4 weeks.
Mhm.
I was full on the deli.
Okay, so that's
And
been for 3 or 4 weeks, right?
mhm. And after
Okay.
that, the last day that we worked, she told me, "Oh, when we come back from the break, you're going to be in the kitchen." And
In the
now,
in the kitchen.
mhm.
Is that the
And
same thing as
now,
a deli or something different?
no,
Or,
it's different.
or different, right?
Yes, and now that we came back from the break on Tuesday, there was this new guy there. He started to work on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So I don't know what are the plans for me. I'm always like, today, what can I do today?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I think that's something you should mention. Um, not to talk about the fact that there's uncertainty, but a good argument there is that the plans for the deli are very recent. Mhm. And at some point, you were told about a different plan. Mhm. So this is in response to her saying, Anna, I need you in the deli. There is no one else. Mhm. Your response to that is that, well, my position in the deli, my position in the deli is fairly new. Do you know what fairly means? Fairly is an adverb that is qualifying new. It answers the question, how new? ¿Qué tan nuevo? ¿Qué tan recientemente te lo dijo? Well, not very new, because it wasn't the last week of work. Um, but not, but it wasn't a little new. So something in the middle is fairly new. Ujú. Como relativamente o algo, algo reciente. Ujú. Because you said my position in the Delhi is fairly new. Was only working there for, did you say 3 or 4 weeks? Okay, 3 or 4 weeks. Mhm. And before you were in the deli, well, you were doing everything, right? Except the deli. Okay. I was only working there. Now, my question is, were you working in the deli in these 3 or 4 weeks every day, or were you still now in the deli, but another day? Oh, now in the kitchen, but another day now.
Only on the deli.
Okay, okay. I was only
From
working there.
Tuesday to
Uh-huh.
Saturday.
Okay. So you can say something. I was only working there regularly for 3 or 4 weeks. And you can mention before that, I was covering many positions. No para pelear eso ahorita, pero para recordarle qué tan valiosa eres. I was covering many positions. Um, and before the break, I was told I would be working in the kitchen. Um, and before the holidays, I was told I would be working in the kitchen after the break. Good. I think that is also important to mention. Did your boss say you were going to work in the kitchen, or was it someone else that said you were going to work in the kitchen?
She told me, but
Okay.
something that I didn't like
Okay.
was when last Tuesday, when I arrived to work, I saw her at the very morning, and I say, "Oh, hello, how are you? Good, Happy New Year." And I asked her, "Today you need me in the kitchen, right?" And he say, "Oh," she said, "Oh, we figured it out. Let's go." And I say, "We figured it out? You told me." And she went to ask in the kitchen, "Oh," at the other person there, "You need help?" And the person in the kitchen, Danielle, it's one woman, but her name is Danielle.
Okay.
I think she loved me because she's not old, but she's not young.
Okay.
She's around 50 years old.
Okay.
And when we work together in the kitchen, I do the hard work. And maybe she likes that.
Okay.
And even she sometimes asks, Anna, can I go to my break very quickly? You don't have any problem if you be here working? And I always say, no worries, go. Ve, fúmate tu cigarro. And I think she likes that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, she finds it very convenient.
Yeah. And when my boss asked her, "Oh, Daniel, you need help? You need Anna?" She say, "Oh, yes, Anna, welcome, come."
So, okay. So your idea was that in 2025, when you came back, you would be working in the kitchen with Danielle? Okay. So let's mention that.
But now
Everything.
is Daniel and the new guy.
And the new guy, yes. Again, I'm just making notes. I need to think about this as well. So probably tomorrow we're going to have something more solid. But my thoughts are that you should mention how well you work with Daniel. I mean, even if you have the chance, you should ask Daniel how she's doing with this new guy. To see if there's any, you know, you're not going to spread gossip, no vas a esparcir chisme, but if, I mean, it would be interesting to know what Danielle's thoughts are. Even if she's just being nice, it would be good to hear, "Oh, Anna, how have you been? I've missed you in the kitchen," right?
She told me that.
Okay, that's perfect. That's
okay. Another thing that you have to know.
Okay.
In the kitchen, only works Daniel and Gail.
Gail is the name of the guy, okay? Gail.
No, Gail is another woman. At the beginning, only that two women work in the kitchen. Daniel and Gail, they are best friends.
Okay.
Now we have a chicken area, but that lady
Chicken
who
area.
works
Okay.
in the chicken,
Mm-hmm.
she takes lots of day off,
Okay.
and I don't know why Val don't train me in the chicken. But it's an area that I like.
Okay.
Okay, I close parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
Now that lady, Chris, who works in the chicken, now it's on vacation. For
Okay.
that reason, Gail, who was in the kitchen, now he's cover Christy
Covering Christy.
in the chicken. For
Mhm.
that reason, Daniel is alone in the kitchen and they need me in the kitchen.
Okay. So I have worked really well with Danielle
Mhm.
in the
And
kitchen
also,
while Christy has been away. Okay, continue.
uh, and Daniel told me last week, "Oh, Anna, I really miss work with you. It's nice work with you." And I
Mhm.
think, yes, because I do the hard work. Why not?
Mhm.
And she told me, it's a stressful work with Gail.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, of course you're not going to say, Danielle
Yeah.
has told me it's stressful. But maybe your boss already knows something, or if she doesn't, maybe after your conversation, she will be interested in knowing more about her new worker. Okay, Gail has been working with us for 2 weeks or
The new guy,
Mhm.
mm, last week was his first week. But now another interesting thing that I think about that right now, it's that this new guy, his name is Jordan.
Mhm.
Jordan told me, I'm going to open the food truck maybe at the end of this month.
Mhm.
So, Sergio, maybe it's a good idea to wait until the food truck is open this month or maybe at the beginning of the next month for just foresee what Val going to do with me.
No.
And wait, and when if she tell me, oh Anna, now the food truck is going to be open and I want that you work with Jordan there, that
Mhm.
it's the moment to say, okay, I can do that, but no more but no more Saturdays.
No, eso va a salir contraproducente. Ahí sí la vas a hacer emputar.
¿Por qué?
Porque, o sea, además de que te estoy dando la oportunidad, me dices, ya voy a trabajar menos. No. Esto, porque no es una negociación laboral de a ver si te suben el sueldo, a ver si te dan más horas. Es una cuestión estrictamente personal y se trata de tus hijos. La única razón por la que no se lo estás diciendo mañana, tú sabes cómo es el humor de Bell y no quiero que le hablen y le den aunque dé una buena referencia, lo hagan un mal tono, que la otra lea en su texto y diga algo no me está gustando. Pero si es necesario, el miércoles, saliendo a trabajar, decirle, Bel, ¿te puedo robar 2 minutos? ¿Sabes qué? No sabía cómo decirte esto, pero la neta ya no está funcionando. ¿Por qué creo yo que y lo comentaba con Carlos hace rato, que trabajar este sábado todavía funciona? Porque si se lo dijeras mañana, te va a decir, hija, no mames, tiene una semana que regresaste a trabajar. Pero si se lo dices la próxima semana, ya le puedes decir, ¿sabes qué? Ya tuve 2 semanas para calar el ritmo y no está funcionando. O sea, en estas 2 semanas he visto a mis hijos 2 días. Las veces que he llevado a mi hija, se ha quedado llorando. Los sábados que me voy a trabajar, se queda llorando porque no quiere que me vaya. Es decir, los veo 90 minutos, o sea, los veo despertar 90 minutos cuando sueno con ellos y antes de dormir. Entonces, lo siento.
¿Me va a impactar en mis finanzas? Sí, sí me va a impactar, pero lo estoy haciendo por mis hijos. Nunca van a volver a estar así de pequeños. Me necesitan, todavía estamos en un proceso de transición, de que nos mudamos para acá y necesito la chamba. Lo único que te puedo decir es, si me pudieras permitir trabajar los lunes para compensar las horas que me faltan los sábados, te lo voy a agradecer mucho. Si no, lo voy a entender y aunque sea menos dinero, yo necesito estar con mis hijos porque mis hijos me necesitan. Y si ella tratase de persuadirte de los sábados, lo único que le puedes ofrecer es que trabajo los viernes de 5 a 7. Los sábados no hay forma. Si te esperas a lo del futuro, entonces si de emputar, oye hija, yo estoy planeando en función de que sé que cuento contigo y ahora sí necesito una pendeja para cocina, una pendeja para deli y una pendeja para el food truck, porque tú haces lo de 3 o más personas. Entonces, lo problema que se soslaya, estalla.
What did you think, Carlos?
Well, mm, well, maybe the first thing I think is that it would be amazing if your schedule would be fixed from Monday to Friday, and you did not have to stay later. Uh-huh. Um, so that's just one thought I had right now. I had it before, but I didn't mention it. Hopefully, she sees more value in you working on Monday than staying late on Friday, but I don't know what her priorities are. Hopefully, that would be good. I think that, and then my second thought is, I think I would argue, I would argue that you speak to her as soon as you can, which might be this week, depending on how everything goes with the apartment. Um, mm, because the more time you give her to move things around, if there is a real problem, I don't know if there's a real problem. Um, I think that you would be in a better position of being a uh, a trustworthy, como de confianza, trustworthy, and ¿cómo se dice? Considerate worker. Because yes, you're in a position that you cannot sustain for the long term, but you're very respectful of the opportunity that you have received from this person, and you know the importance of the work they do. So you tell them as soon as you can so that you can start planning how to leave. Because for you, it is inevitable. Like, I cannot, I cannot be away from my children this much. It's only been 2 weeks, and I have noticed how it's affecting my children, and how that affects me because I'm a mother. Now, in terms of your idea of waiting for the food truck, do you have any idea when that will happen?
No, Jordan told me just maybe at the end of this month.
Yeah, because that the problem with that, or the risk with that, is that things don't align. And now, if you're waiting for something that is out of your control, then again, you're in a disadvantaged position. The advantage you have in planning a lo mejor not a script, but planning your arguments, is that you are going to be in control of the conversation. And the more it depends on you rather than on circumstance, the more confident you will feel in the end. And I think that that is going to be a very important factor. How confident you are presenting your needs is going to affect on how they perceive you. Mhm. Because if you're not sure about what you want, then people will people will take more advantage of the situation and
She will
say, uh
her insecurity if she titubea, I don't know how to say, if she has second thoughts.
hesitates, yes.
Her boss has a very is a sly fox,
It's a sly fox, yeah.
sly fox. She's
Yeah.
not spoky, she's a sly fox. So she will notice at the moment she stutters or she hesitates, and she will use that on as a leverage for her. So I actually am thinking that you should do it this Saturday after work. Like, well, I need to talk to you. You know what?
This is the second Saturday that I need to cry.
These 2 weeks we started with a new. So you need to practice. You can spend this full week talking about this. Selfie can't wait for next week. No, because you need to be prepared. Because I won't be there. I can if you want, but I think it has to be you. So this is your opportunity to show that you are improving your English, but to show that you can speak for yourself. Like, you know what? It's like the 2 weeks notice, like to let you know, January is the last month I will be working on Saturdays. So it's not like this is my last Saturday. It's like letting you know,
In advance,
you need to find someone else to fill my position on Saturdays. Is that right, or should she be more aggressive in today was my last Saturday? Should she like give notice? Or
no, I think it's just for let you know, and if she asks, okay, but when I say as
soon
as possible, and if she told me, if she asked me, okay, but maybe you can help me next 2 Saturdays more. Will I training another person? And
yes,
I can say, okay,
just the last 2 Saturdays of January, starting on February, I can't. I mean, you by that point of the conversation, it is expected that you had already explained to her. But if she tells you, okay, never mind, it's because your kids, because it's highly probable that you will cry because it's too much pressure. It's too much pressure, the one you're holding, but for that conversation, you will be in that month of that part of the month, you will be very emotional. You will be tired because it's your longest, ¿cómo se dice jornada? Your longest, ¿cómo se dice jornada laboral?
Workday.
This is your longest workday. You will be tired. You will be emotional. You will be stressful. You will be hungry. So it's highly probable that you will cry. So if she says, no, don't worry, Anna, you need to take care of your kids. I will take care of that next Saturday. Fine. If she's like, well, but I need you to fill in the meantime, you can tell her, okay, I can come next Saturday. So the Monday is something we want. The Friday is just an ace on your sleeve for negotiation. Am I right?
Yeah, she could use it just like you described it. So, I mean, yes, I think that's a good point. If you can predict anything she might say, then you can, again, as I mentioned before, the more we can predict, the more we can brainstorm, make notes, and this week create very strong arguments. The more you can avoid doing more than you need. Because if your boss is okay with promising things but then taking them back and not giving you clarity of what you should do, because for her it's very convenient for you to do anything that arises, it's more likely that maybe she's come to a point where she's used to that and she depends on you a lot. But also, she might have found a very easy way to use you to her convenience, not your proper role, your proper responsibilities. So we don't want that thinking to be present in her mind when you're negotiating. So you don't want to say first, I'll stay here till 2 more weeks. Hmm. You want to say as soon as possible. Hmm. And if she says, well, but I need you, da, 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 then you can negotiate up to 2 weeks. Like you're already ready to say 2 weeks, but don't give her 2 weeks immediately. Like you can build up to 2 weeks. Like, okay, how much time do you need?
And
Do you remember how long it took this other person to train you?
I have an hour. Not literally half an hour. No. We were
So yeah.
that today. I mean, she didn't like, oh, I spent too much money on your training. It was half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
another thing to consider is that we are, and I mentioned to you, Carlos, this earlier today, that Ana is approaching Ana is addressing this conversation with a dynamite best, like a kamikaze. No, really. She is in a position like, okay, you don't like it? Well, I quit. So it's not about the money. I need the job. I need the money.
Mm-hmm.
But my kids need me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
yeah.
She has that to on her side to make her feel more safe. That, oh, but what happens if she gets mad and she wants to reduce my hours or she wants to fire me?
I feel me ungrateful with she, because she.
You feel you are being ungrateful, but you are not. You have give her everything you have. ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Estuviste a punto? You
were about to.
You were about give up one of the best experiences you ever have with your kids to go to work with her.
Because
tell him
2 days before we went to the
mountains, yeah.
To the mountain.
Mount Washington, right?
Yeah, she sent me a message and she asked me, "You can work this week with me?" And I feel so bad to say no, I can't. But I have to say that because we already have the reservation in the hotel. And yes, she's knows, so nice with me.
But she knows you are her bitch. She goes like this, and you are there like, yes. Which clothes do you need me to take off?
Well,
as she say, Ana, I need you here. Okay, Ana, I know that. Okay, you know what? Even the last Saturday that we worked before the break, that last Saturday was crazy, and I worked very hard. And I told her, "Oh no worries. I don't going to take my lunch. I'm going to stay here." And I didn't take lunch that day, the last day, from 7 to almost 6.
But she was so generous as to don't.
And she told me,
"Don't check out. Just eat something in a couple of seconds.
Go quickly, eat something there." Because in the lobby we have a coffee machine, and we have on the table she leave there some snacks or candies or something. And that day she told me, "Okay, no worries, don't clock. just go eat something quickly and come back.
I mean, it is not black and white. She's not a bitch and she's not an angel. So we have to give her that. There's there is this gray area.
But he's a good person.
Okay? Yes. But I was
last Christmas. She
has many thoughtful considerations with us. But as I was telling Anna, and please be objective here and tell me if I'm wrong. She's a nice person. She's a good person. She has many thoughtful considerations with us, with Anna, with my kids. But we are immigrants. So imagine, Carlos, if you had to hire someone from IT, those that were fooling around Cuernavaca. I don't know if you ever saw someone. And you hire someone. You are a nice man. So you won't mistreat this person. You will be fair. You will pay him. You will have considerations. But you will try to make the most out of his services, right? Like if you have to drive, to paint, to do whatever you want him. But that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That doesn't mean that you are mistreating him. You are. He's not taking advantage. You are tratando de sacarle el mayor provecho posible to someone that you know will do anything because of their circumstance.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? It's the same with her?
No, I think that's unfortunately there's a very strong culture of actually knowing that immigrants will be willing to do more than your average national. And also, and yes, Sergio says like taking advantage of that because, I mean, and this is a very different topic, but I mean, maybe even this conversation will be very helpful and like set a precedent for you in the future, for you feeling more confident in talking with your boss about, these smaller things that you're saying. We talked about me being in the kitchen after the break, and I was very surprised that we have a new person working there, Jordan. I was wondering if there was something I can do to be considered for the role. Does that mean that I will be working with Jordan? Does that mean that Jordan will be guiding me? Or does that mean that I'm not working in the kitchen at all? So I think that this conversation can actually help with how you're working at the shop, maybe even giving you more confidence to speaking to your boss or just to speaking English in general. And it might even give a very good picture of who you are as a worker, where in a way you're able to say no because of these reasons, but being able to argue or counter argue your boss's wishes and demands. And
like building up her agency to speak
sure.
up herself.
Yeah. And if your boss is a good person, as you say, I think that as long as we go over this, enough in class, I think that you might be worrying too much. She might actually respond in a much better way than you're thinking. She is she's responsible for the business, so of course she will find a way to make it work for her. But not maybe not in a way that you're thinking that you have to fight her. But you can work together to find a solution. And I think, Anna, that you're the right person to work cooperatively with someone trying to make the business work. I think that while it's not a feeling to hold on to, como aferrarse, feeling guilty is not something that we want to give more energy. But I think if you feel guilty or if you're thinking that you might be ungrateful, I think it's because you're worried. You're worried in a good way about your role at the shop. You're worried about the work you do at the shop. You're worried about being fair to people who have given you an opportunity. So I think that feeling of guilt, again, while we don't want to give it more energy, it talks about how good of a person you are, how you are committed to your job, even though you're asking to work less, you're more than committed to your job. And I think that just sets up the scenario for you to be very successful in this conversation. I think that while I understand that you have been overthinking and that worries you and that might even be stressing you out, I think that what you've described today to me is a set of circumstances that are less than ideal, but not acting, not speaking up, not negotiating. I think that is the worst case scenario. I think your feeling of guilt, like culpa, would be even greater. Your worry would be even greater. Your stress would be even greater if you're not able to find time to spend with your kids in the long term. Okay, 2 weekends, hard, but February, March, your anniversary there in Canada, one more year, your PR, I think it's going to be worth it. And if you want to keep progressing at the shop, or even if at some point you want to get a better job or a different circumstance, this is not going to be the last time you're going to have a very difficult conversation. So I think that what's worth the most is not getting a yes and say, yes, I have my Saturdays off. I think the most that you'll get from this conversation is the confidence to work out a problem on your own in English, in a situation where it's not maybe simple or easy or very straightforward to find a solution that works for everyone. So I think this is a pretty good opportunity to develop those skills, to in a way to make your relationship with your boss stronger, not weaker, stronger actually, and maybe even find opportunities to find a little bit more certainty, a little bit more stability in your job. Yeah, because it was very sad to hear that they had hired Jordan and you were exciting about the being in the kitchen. The news about the food truck is exciting for everyone, I think, at the shop. So I think that you're not you're relatively new still in Canada, but it's going to be 10 months and then a year, and you're working for your PR. So I think maybe this is an opportunity for you to continue growing in that aspect, and demonstrating that you have more skills than they think. And having difficult conversation is actually a very desirable skill. Um, I don't know, maybe your boss one day is going to say, híjole, Ana, vas a tener que hablar con este cuate porque de plano no está dando, ¿no? And she'll be able to trust you to have a very difficult conversation with someone else at the shop because you've demonstrated that you can argue logically and find a solution to a situation that is not ideal for your boss, right? The good news is you don't have to do it tomorrow.
At least.
At least, okay?
More days overthinking. No contestado.
Okay. And I've made a ton of notes. And we have the help of AI, of course. So there's a lot of I think we have your basic arguments. Sergio also mentioned things that are very important to consider, to think about, and things not to think about, es decir, those non-negotiables. So tomorrow, I'm going to have I'm going to have a little model. Again, I mentioned producing something that looks more like an email. So you don't have to memorize anything because that would be the wrong thing to do. So you're not going to memorize anything, but you're going to have like a nice piece of text with all your arguments and your boss's counter arguments and how you're going to respond to everything. Okay? So imagine it like an email. Like if you're sending this in the form of an email to your boss instead of speaking, but we're going to use that as a basis, maybe even to role play. Like I will pretend to be your boss and I will be very persistent, but I think that you know exactly what you want, which is to be with your children. And I think that you know that that is something fair to ask. Fair for you, fair for them, fair for your husband. So I think the only things that we need to figure out are like smaller details. Okay? Smaller details. I don't need to convince you that being with your children at this age is the most important thing for the family. You're already convinced. So that's the hardest part. Now we just need to figure out the detail. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I need some THC as a cookies, as a cigarette.
In the form of gummies.
To be honest, I prefer as a cigarette.
Okay, yeah. Yes, you're more in control of the situation with the cigarette. The problem is you have to wash your clothes afterwards because
yeah, smell bad.
very smelly. Okay. So yeah, you need to relax a bit. But are you feeling anything in your body, like any area of your body feeling tense? Do you have a headache?
No, I feel in my back like little ants.
Okay. Eso lo llamamos a tingling.
¿De qué está con una sobredosis ahorita?
Tingling feeling.
Okay.
Ese tingle es como el cosquilleo.
Could you remember me, please, how to say?
Okay, remind me. Yes.
Shock.
No.
I forgot now. Cramp.
Cramp.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're not feeling a cramp, right?
No.
Okay. A mental cramp.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, all right. So I think I have everything I need. Um, other than that, did you have a good day?
Yes, because we had the chance to have a lunch together without any interruption.
She got drunk in the lunch.
Oh, okay.
But
So
it
no
was
children?
fun. No children.
Okay. Yes, you want to be with your children more, but oh, those moments without them. Thank God.
And was because we don't
We didn't?
we didn't the exam, the test, the road
Oh,
test.
yes. Ah, yes, of course,
So
yes.
we had the chance to get a lunch together.
Oh, that's nice. All right.
But
So,
what first in months.
oh,
Our
wow.
date in months. Yes.
Okay.
That is why I was willing to pay for your mimosa. She had some Benedict X with a mimosa.
Ooh, sounds lovely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to get there's a nice buffet close to where I'm living. The hotel is called I don't even know what it's called. But anyway, I went to a buffet there
Uh-huh.
and they have unlimited mimosas if you
Oh,
buy the buffet. Yeah.
what was the place?
Hostería Las Quintas.
Oh, I
That's
never been
nice.
there.
Cuando iba yo con los amigos de Cuauhtémoc, seguramente fuiste.
No,
Hmm.
but sounds good.
So the buffet is the buffet is very good. Actually, I mean, some of it that I've had was quite good. But the thing that I loved is you get unlimited mimosas or very small coronitas.
Oh,
But I like the I'm a fan of mimosas.
oh, sounds
And
good.
yes, and having them before 12 p.m. is the reason why people want to be an adult. Is the only benefit probably of being an adult. Drinking at whatever time you want.
I do that since I was 17 in the what?
Okay.
¿Cómo se llama la prepa allá? High school?
High school, yeah.
Well, high school. I do that on high school.
Okay, you did that. High school.
Let's
Okay.
say my breakfast was a Marlboro and a Coke.
Did you say today?
No, not today.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry,
Years
I
ago when
misunderstood that.
When
Yeah.
I was on high school
Oh, okay.
for months.
Okay. How do they say? You had the bricklayer's breakfast. Bricklayer is albañil. Yeah, the bricklayer's breakfast. Coke, a concha, and a cigarette.
Yeah, but without the concha.
Yeah, but without the concha, without the pan.
And that was at around 6:30. And between 10 a.m. 11, some agua loca.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, I probably did that as well, but it was a very limited period of time. I remember I did it 1 year and never again, but I did the Guadalupe Reyes.
Oh my God, Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
have to do that.
Carlos.
I don't know if you should.
Maybe I can't now.
Carlos, if we get confirmation for this apartment,
Yeah.
I really hope you and Sophie get to visit us this year because we will have plenty of room for you too.
Yes, I heard that it's a 3-bedroom apartment, right?
Yeah. And even if we have two beds,
yes, you can
can come because we take of the
Why
kids
don't you
with
start
us.
planning ahead for September would be the
Okay,
greatest,
September is the best weather.
the best
Uh
weather.
huh. Uh huh.
February is the cheapest
Cheapest.
flight that you can find,
Okay. Okay.
and it's
So-
not bad. How
The
can I
cold
say?
is not bad.
It's
the
not
cold
bad.
is-
I mean, the cold is one of the great attractors of
Yeah.
being there. I mean, of course, I don't think I've ever experienced a cold that
Mm.
bitter, but I am a fan of colder weather. So yeah, that'd be quite fascinating.
And also maybe can be your best option
Hmm.
February, because you can find here cold, but if you travel 2 hours and a half, you can find the snow, which is
Okay. Yeah.
a good option.
Also nice. Yeah.
Yeah. why you can be here in a good weather if you have always good weather there?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. That makes sense. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So why would you, or why would I want great weather if you you want to have the colder weather?
Yeah.
You want to have snow. Yeah, definitely. That sounds great. February. Ah,
Yes,
February.
February.
Uh-huh. El golpe en la primera sílaba. February.
February.
Hmm. Well, as soon as you have that apartment, uh, please share the good news.
Sure.
Did the lady not answer? No,
No.
it's not that late, right?
No,
No.
it's not 9.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, hopefully early tomorrow
Dije,
morning.
algo no le convenció, algo hubo que no le gustó.
Estos niños estaban haciendo un desmadre.
¿Ves?
Yo debe haber dicho, no, estos cabrones me van a desmadrar.
Well, she's not gonna live there, so ¿qué le importa?
De que si nos corren se queda sin inquilinos.
Hmm. Okay. Did she actually live there at the apartment building, like some landlords do, or
She used to when she was married.
okay?
Wait,
Well, I don't. Well, hopefully it's not that.
yeah, I hope that.
Yeah, hopefully it's not that, and you'll get an answer at latest early tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, I hope that. But well,
All right then. So, I'm gonna let you guys be,
Thank you,
but
Carlos.
I'll be meeting Sergio early tomorrow, and then
Yes.
Anna later at night. Okay.
okay.
Have a good
Okay.
night, Carlos. Thank you.
Thank you.
100%. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. 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 So, have a good one.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Carlos. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.